Grace. So we are doing an introduction to music theory. You're going to be doing your grade 1 in about a year's time, and before we start on your grade 1 book, we're just going to go through a few of the basics so that you're kind of more comfortable with the book when you come to it, and so that you kind of understand the basics of music theory before you start to do the more complex side of it. Hopefully by the end of this course you'll be able to read a simple piece of notation, so be able to read a simple piece of music. At the end of the 6 weeks there will be a small test where we'll just go over things like time values and bar lines, time signatures, treble and bass clef. This all sounds really scary at the moment, I know, but you'll understand it by the end of the 6 weeks, and I'm sure you'll find it easy. I definitely think you're competent enough to do this. So yeah, this is the first lesson, of course. So the first thing we're going to go through is what we call simple time values. So those are the kind of beats and the notes that you would see on a piece of music. Now, I can imagine if you see this looks rather complex, you don't quite understand it yet. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look into them, I'm going to explain to you, and then we will draw a slight diagram so that you can work out what you're doing, and you can keep that as a reference. You will be drawing quite a bit, and you can write notes as you go, just to kind of get you practicing doing the drawing and the writing. Right, so the first thing we're going to look at is the time values and what kind of notes we're looking at. So in music we have 4 basic notes. Each of these has a different amount of time that you play them for. You have a crotchet, and a crotchet is 1 beat. You have a minim, that's 2 beats. A semibreve, that's 4 beats, and a quaver, that's half a beat. Mm-hmm. So if you were to imagine that a crotchet is, so each crotchet is 1 clap. 4. So if you start clapping that, nice and slow. So a quaver would be, because that's half of that crotchet beat. A minim would then be, okay? Can you do that? And a semibreve is 4 crotchets. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go over them again, okay? And we'll say the number going up to 4, 1 to 4, and we'll clap on which one we're doing. So we'll start off with the crotchet. So just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now we'll do the quaver. To help us with the quaver, we're going to put an and in between each number, which is when we'll clap, and it helps us to keep the rhythm going a bit more steady. So
1 and.
Yes. So ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 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 Good. Then we're going to do the minim. Now, what did I say the minim was?
2 beats.
2 beats. Good. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Right. Semibreve. How many beats is a semibreve?
4.
Good. So we're going to do a semibreve now. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Right. So what we're going to do to start with is I'm going to show you a little diagram of beats and how it breaks down. So it's just over here. So, what it is you have your semi-breve note here.
Yeah.
That is your 4 beats.
Yeah.
That then splits into your 2 minims, which are 2 beats each. So 2 minims make 1 semi-breve.
Yeah.
After that, you have your crotchets. 2 crotchets make a minim, and 4 crotchets make a semi-breve. After that, it splits into your quavers. 2 quavers make a crotchet, 8 quavers make a semi-breve, and 4 quavers make a minim. Okay? So that is what we're going to start with. I'd like you to start with, draw the semi-breve to the quavers with your lines showing how they split.
Okay.
To keep you with your, whatever you want to call it, to help you understand it a little bit more and how it splits. Okay? So start off with your semi-breve. Yeah. Semi-breve is just a circle. Good. Don't need to curl a semi-breve in. Then you do 2 lines and do 2 minims. The way you draw a minim would be to draw a circle and then a line coming up the right side. Good. After that, you're going to your crotchets. Crotchets are the same as minims, apart from you colour the circle in. So you're going to have 4 of them, 2 for each minim. It's quite nice because it breaks down evenly. Right, after your crotchets, you have your quavers. So what was a quaver?
That's the like first one.
Yeah, and what do you might call it?
Semi-breve.
It's 8. And how is it? What kind of beat is it? 1 beat, 2 beats?
2. Not 2. 4 or 5.
It's the smaller one.
The half.
Very good. So how many quavers are in a crotchet?
Quavers. 2.
Very
1.
good. 2. So you're going to split each crotchet into 2 and draw 2 quavers.
Like that.
Yeah.
Then cut it.
So that's your 2 for that crotchet, and then you go on to the next one, because that's 2 already. So you have 1 into that one and 1 into that one. Very good. Good. Right, let's have a look. So, do you think now you could, down the side, write which type of note each one is?
Yeah.
So that one is a...
Semi-breve.
Good.
And a minim.
Very good.
That's how it's spelled. Crotchet.
Yeah.
And quaver.
Very good. Right. Now, I am going to ask you to clap one of those, and I'd like you to count and clap like we did before, but without me. Okay?
Okay.
So if I ask you to clap a crotchet. Do the numbers over the top.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Very good. What about a minim?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good. What about a quaver?
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Good. What about a semi-brief?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good. Right. Now, I'm going to take this away, so you haven't got any reference. That's shut down, so you can't see it. I want you to fill out this. It's just a little worksheet. It asks you what each note's called, so you need to label them, and then you need to say how long each beat lasts for. Okay? Take your time. You've got 5 more minutes. Good. Right. So the next bit's asking you how long each note is.
So like, how many of those go into that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Right. I'll just go and mark it, and then we'll go over anything we've not got quite right. I've got a nice green pen. So you got semi-brief right? And the minim?
That's right.
Yes, you did. And the crotchet? And the quaver? So a semi-brief lasts as long as 4 crotchets. Good. A semi-brief lasts as long as 2 minims. Good. A minim lasts as long as 8 quavers. Now, why do you think that?
It's not 8.
Have a
It's
little
4.
think. Very good.
8
So
semi-brief.
it's not quite 8. 8 would be a semi-brief rather than a crotchet. 8 would be a semi-brief rather than a minim. A minim is 4 because it's 2 crotchets, and each crotchet would be 2 quavers. So that makes this one 4. So you can just change that. Good. And then you've got a crotchet lasts as long as 2 quavers, which is correct. Well done. Right. That is actually it for today. We got through that quite quickly because you did very well. So we have a few extra minutes. Is there any questions you want to ask me about this course?
How much do I have to learn? Like, how far does it get, like, really complicated?
Not really. It's only a few simple things. You won't have to memorise anything necessarily. You won't have to do work at home apart from just kind of going over it and just making sure you understand it. But in the last week it might be good to kind of go over everything and kind of make sure you know what you're doing, so that when you come to the test you're all kind of up together. You will get help with things. You are dyslexic, so obviously anything you do struggle with we can address a bit slower or simpler. And things can kind of get a little bit difficult at times, but hopefully you'll kind of get the gist of it eventually. Right. Thank you very much, Grace. Any more questions?
Yeah. Do Do I keep this or do you keep this?
Yes, you keep it and keep it with your notebook.
Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you very much.
Thank you.